Oh, hey, how you doing? Sean from Old Yankee Farm and the hatching house. And I wanted to do a quick video on setting up a brooder. This is a brooder that I built, and I'm going to be getting a bunch of meat birds in, so I'm getting it all set up for the meat birds. So I wanted to go over just basic setting up a brooder, because there's so many new chicken owners out there with this coronavirus thing going around. All of a sudden everyone's buying chickens. So I wanted to go over some of the feeders and waterers and some of the techniques that we use here at the hatching house. So this is my brooder. I built this for our farm store when we had it. And it's 4 feet wide by 2 feet deep. And I made this round section so it could hold a heat lamp safely. And I also, if my chicks are really small and it's kind of cold out, I'll put a second heat lamp here and like block this area with like a piece of wood or something like that. And I got it so it's easy to clean. I made both sections lift up. You can see I've used it. It's a little wet. But this is what I'm going to set up right now for my meat birds. I got about 30 or 40 little meat birds, and they'll be able to be in here for a little while, but not too long, because they grow really fast. This is some of the feeders, waterers that are available at your local Tractor Supply or feed store. And for my meat birds, I'm probably going to use this one here, because a lot of birds can eat off this. Also, meat birds drink a lot of water, so I'm going to use the bigger waterer. If you only have like a few chicks, like say 4 or 5 chicks, you can go with one of these smaller waterers, which is it's a mason jar that screws on it, or they have a plastic jar that you can put on it also. And you can use one of these smaller feeders. These are the heat lamps that I use. You got to be very careful with these, because these will cause a fire if you're not handled properly, or if they're not secured properly. That's why I have that section here. It's sitting on metal, and the heat goes down, and it can't fall, or it's secure, and that's the beauty of that. So you can, if you're using another type of brooder, like a tote or a fish aquarium or something, just be very careful about how you have that heat lamp. They also have brooder plates that you can use. I usually don't use those with really small chicks, but I imagine they should be okay for small chicks. I'm going to be using these coffee grounds. They're by I did a few videos of these, and I kind of like how they work with the brooder, especially meat birds. Meat birds poop a lot, they pee a lot, they're messy, and the grounds tend to smell much better than smelling meat bird poop, and it tends to dry out the brooder. It keeps the brooder pretty dry. So I'm going to pour some of this in here. For the water, I'll put an old board down, and it helps keep the bedding out of the water, although the coffee works a little better. And then I would just set the waterer down onto the board. When you're dealing with little chicks, for the waterer, you want to put some type of, like a rocks or something. I use these little like 2-inch rocks, or 1.5 inch, I forget what they are. And you put them throughout in the waterer. because the little baby chicks will pile up onto the water and they'll drown, and you have to, so you kind of space the rocks out. And this is after you fill the water up with water, then you put the rocks in, because it's kind of hard to do it before. And then just set the water on there. The feeder, once you got the feeder filled up, I usually put it like right in the middle. That way the birdies can get around it to the water. They're going to climb over it anyways. This is going to be the heated area, and that's where the birds are going to congregate, is in the heated area where the heat lamp is. So they're going to be in this area mostly. And if it's warm enough in here, you'll see the birds all over the whole area. And sometimes you may have to, I may have to put something over this just to keep the heat in. But if you get a normal warm day, if it's nice out, spring weather, summer weather, that's really not an issue. Well, I hope that helps out, and if you have any questions, drop me a comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe our videos. And this is Sean from Old Yankee Farm and the Hatching House. See you, folks.